Hi, this is Dr. Don Bonner with Personalized Wellness. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up today for this is my first Facebook Live that I've put on, and of course I had it set. Everything was perfect. I had some other graphics that were supposed to go up, and 10 minutes before this broadcast, I couldn't get the other graphics up. So hopefully everybody can see right now and can hear me, and we'll kind of go from here and hope we don't have any more glitches. I was supposed to have a title page that showed the title of this talk, which is insulin and obesity. And this is a talk that I'd like to do every Thursday at 4 o'clock and talk about something hormonally related. So I'm calling it the Hormone Hour. And like I said, today is insulin and obesity. Last week I talked about testosterone and estradiol, and specifically pellet therapy for those two particular hormones. And again, the page I had up was supposed to have our phone number at the clinic, which is 601 898 0911. But we're going to muddle through this and see how we do for this first time. But anyway, that's me, and I'd like to go through just a quick biography so you know who I am. Um, I graduated from osteopathic medical school in 1991. I finished an internship in 92. I did an anesthesia residency at the University of Mississippi from 92 to 95. I was board certified in 95 and have been since 95 to the present time. I've been in private practice in Jackson, Mississippi since 1995. And then I also have a board certification and a fellowship in metabolic and nutritional medicine from the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. Okay, one thing that I like to do before I do any talks, and I usually put this slide up to kind of show, my thought process as far as functional medicine, integrative medicine. And what I like to do is a bit of a reverse engineering. Uh, as far as morbidity and mortality, and what I do is look at these are um, the top four things that as far as increased mortality after the age of 40 if you're a non-smoker. And number one by far is cardiovascular disease and cerebral vascular disease. Number two is cancer. Number three is neurodegenerative diseases. And number four is accidents. So when I work with somebody, our goal is going to be to reduce our risk of all of those things, because really the main goal in this type of medicine is not just longevity, but to make sure that you have vitality till the last day of your life. You want to be thinking clearly, you want to be active, and that's that's what we're here for, and that's our purpose to try to help you do those things. There's certain levers that you can pull to do that. And what I look at when I first see a patient as far as a consult, diet, nutrition is number one, sleep number two, stress management, exercise, and then hormones. And what you're going to see with me as far as hormones go, um, you have so many hormones in your body, and all of them have different functions. And typically, what I see, people will stress one particular hormone and become an expert on that, and treat that particular hormone. So you may be the thyroid expert, and all of your patients' thyroid levels are absolutely perfect. But the problem is, all of these hormones, insulin and leptin and testosterone, estradiol, all these hormones have to function, together in what's more like a symphony in your body. All of them doing their correct actions, and what we do is measure these hormones and and work to get everything at optimum level as much as possible. All right. So what is the cause of weight gain? And most of it is we're been around with the calories in and calories out mantra, and I really don't believe in this at all. And if this was a simple engine, then yeah, possibly, first of all, thermodynamics works, but with the human body, this doesn't particularly work. And what I see is that, especially when we start talking, the reason I don't use weight loss as a term, at my clinic is. Um, you can get people to lose weight in a lot of different means, and that's why so many diets work in the short term. And I would say almost all of these diets work in the short term, but that's the real problem. That you put people on calories. Say you put somebody on a calorie restricted diet, and you drop their calories from 2,500 calories to 1,200 calories. Well, eventually, what's going to happen is, without addressing insulin and other hormones, the body's total energy expenditure is going to drop to meet that decrease in calories, and your weight loss is going to be suspended, and you're going to have a plateau where you can't lose any more weight. And you see this on almost every diet. And the real issue is that the real problem with sustained weight loss is hormonal. And really that's what we're going to talk about today, and what my theory is behind that. So insulin and obesity. Um, First and foremost, can I make you fat by giving you insulin? And the answer is, unequivocally yes. I can give you insulin and you're going to put on weight. So insulin causes you to store fat. And if you have persistently high insulin levels, you're going to store fat and you're not going to be able to access those fat stores. And part of what we do here at the clinic is you have to break this insulin resistance that you have, that most of us have, and that creeps up on us as we get older. So how does the insulin make you fat? Well, insulin, like I just said, insulin tells your body that you're in a fed state, and that you don't need to access these fat stores. It it also inhibits lipoprotein lipase, which causes breakdown of fat, so you can access your fat. And finally, insulin. This is a real big one. Insulin increases your body set weight point. So all of us have a body set weight point that you have in your brain, that essentially your body knows what your weight should be. So if your body set weight point is 170 pounds, your body's going to try to defend that 170 pounds. So if you decrease your calories, your body's going to decrease total energy expenditure to try to meet that decrease amount of food that you're taking under calories. So the big problem is, as you become more insulin resistant in life, that body set point is pushed higher and higher by that insulin resistance. And unfortunately, insulin resistance acts as a positive feedback loop, in the sense that high insulin levels cause insulin resistance. And then insulin resistance causes you to have higher insulin levels. So as you can see, they both feed on each other, and it becomes something that becomes worse and worse and worse. So our goal is decreasing insulin levels, and becoming insulin sensitive. Because so once you become insulin sensitive, then you can start burning fat. So here we go. Insulin, you have insulin resistance. Cells of your body, as they're exposed to higher and higher levels of insulin, become resistant to their effect. As your liver and fat cells become expanded or stuffed with fat, it becomes harder to push glucose into them. So you have to have higher and higher insulin levels to basically push the glucose into those cells, and into the liver. and you become more and more insulin resistant. So I think first, before we talk about lowering insulin levels, I'd like to, just talk a minute about how you become um, insulin resistant. So there's really a couple of ways that you become insulin resistant. One obviously is from your diet, from the food that you take in. So if you're eating a very high carbohydrate diet, especially a very high processed diet with highly processed foods and sugars, you are going to have big spikes of insulin throughout the day from the food that you're taking in. So that's number one. You get spikes of insulin, and what I see is that most diets end up addressing this, because I can't think of any diet that would tell you to eat sugar or to have a lot of high fructose corn syrup, or so say a low calorie diet. Initially, that weight loss is going to come about because you are going to decrease um, insulin levels from those diets. And I advocate a low carbohydrate, high fat diet, and that decreases these insulin levels because you're not being exposed to those foods. So that's kind of step one. But the real big issue is that we never give our bodies a chance to decrease insulin levels throughout the day, and because really all foods are going to increase insulin levels. Fat decreases insulin levels less than anything else, but even protein can cause insulin spikes. So to get control of your insulin levels, you have to do some other things also. And one of those is you have to eat in such a way as to not be in a fed state all the time, because insulin resistance develops from those two different things, from the insulin spikes, from the type of food you're eating. And like I said, most diets address that, but the problem is that they don't address the insulin resistance. And insulin resistance takes place also because you're having high levels of insulin throughout the day, because you're eating all day long and you don't have any periods of fasting. So if you get up in the morning, you eat breakfast, then you eat a snack, then you eat lunch, then you eat a snack, then you eat dinner, then you eat a snack at after dinner, you never get a chance to drop your insulin levels throughout the day. So the other thing that we'll do at the in the clinic is not just address the first part as far as diet with a low carbohydrate diet, which is what I advocate, but we'll also incorporate different fasting routines to give your body a chance to have very, very low insulin levels, because the only way to really get super low insulin levels is by not eating anything at all. So I've got multiple programs that I'll use depending on the patient as far as fasting protocols. So fasting protocols are the second step really in my program for decreasing insulin levels. So that's really pretty much it. I know I didn't talk very long, and right now I don't see any questions, but we're at Personalized Wellness is our clinic, and we're on Highway 51 in Ridgeland, Mississippi, 573 Highway 71, Suite D. We're on the second floor of a fourplex of an office complex. Got two yellow Adirondack chairs out on the balcony, so that's how most people will see us. Uh, Phone number is 601-898-0911. Website is www.thewelldoc.com. And, give us a call, come and see us. And like I said, we look at all hormones, a lot of hormones. And my metabolic reset program, I really look at several hormones, insulin in particular. We look at thyroid, we look at leptin, we look at cortisol levels. All of those things, all of those hormones rather, impact your ability to lose weight and keep weight off. So we'll address all of those and get appropriate blood tests and then institute measures to lower those levels or lower the ones that we have resistance and thyroid. Obviously, we may need to give thyroid to increase those levels, but that's what we do as far as our weight management program. And then we also address testosterone and estrogen also as far as our sex hormones. And and then, like I said last week, I'm a big proponent of pellet therapy for replacing those hormones. I think you get a more stable blood level, and it's a simple procedure, lasts longer, and I think works really well. But I appreciate everybody showing up, and we'll do this every week. Next week, hopefully, we won't have any glitches. It'll be a little smoother, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.